What's up, Ram here from Man Nerds. Welcome to my review of Doctor Who Series 13 / The Flux series, Episode 4, Village of the Angels. If you don't think spoiled, there'll be some minor spoilers ahead, so turn off now. So, last week's episode ended with an angel infiltrating the TARDIS and taking control of it. The Doctor manages to resolve this threat by some clever rewiring and also making use of the angel's ability to move whilst they're not looking at it, by especially coming out as a blink, which really freaks them out, but it works. They get the angel up the TARDIS, but it lands almost immediately afterwards. And they don't know if they've landed where they are because that's where the angel wants them to come, or whether it's just landed. So they go out and find out, and they come across a couple who are looking for their missing niece, and she's gone disappeared. Yaz and Dan go off and help them, and the Doctor picks up some strange music on a sort of screwdriver, and she goes to look at that. So Yaz and Dan sort of, obviously this is where the arcs will diverge. This is a minor spoiler for what happens to them too. Yaz and Dan, in the search of the child, soon come across another angel who teleports them back to 1901, and they find themselves back in the same village. They do come across the missing girl, and which they figure out they would, and they do. And she shows them something very strange that's happening to the village. And what she shows them I was not expecting. She takes them to the sort of primitive village, and what she reveals it was very much now of all things I could have guessed were going to happen, that was not one thing I was going to expect to be revealed at the edge of the village. Fairly nice effect as well, actually. They find themselves trapped in this 1901 village. The Doctor, following her thing, she leads her to a chap called Professor Jericho and Clair Brown. Clair Brown, who appeared in episode 1, who ran up to the Doctor and the gang and said, "Hey, you don't know me yet, but you're going to know me at some point," for promptly getting herself caught by an angel and teleported presumably back to this state. The Doctor soon finds herself with Jericho in his house under siege. He's doing some research to source psychic phenomenon, but that's all by the by, really. It's just an excuse to have the equipment they need. They find themselves under siege by the angels, having to lock all the doors, they're breaking through, and they have to try and Doctor has to work out why the angels are besieging that specific house. They know the village disappears that night, but they don't know what happened to it. Well, you can guess what happened to the village, obviously. But why are the angels attacking? Who are they after, or what are they after? And what can they do to escape? So the Doctor has to try and get out of that one. That's a fairly sort of typical siege scenario where they have to gradually fall back and leads us all the way to our conclusion. So the two stories do obviously collide again. There's also a B storyline, or C storyline, call it, with the Flux. Not much is shown. I say the Flux, all the aftermarks of the Flux. So Belle's there, and she finds a bit of a safe haven, and she meets another survivor who takes to other survivors who are sort of like looking for a way out, and someone who's promising a way out. That's what we're going to say about the B plot. So the Flux doesn't play much in this sort of Flux storyline. Obviously, I'm sure all of it's the Flux storyline, but the big obvious part of the Flux storyline doesn't seem to play a big role in this episode. A bit like episode 2. It's there, it ties in, but it's not directly correlated. There's not even really any, when I say main characters, I'm referring to Doctor and Yaz and Dan, them sort of get any sort of involvement in this storyline at all, as they did in episode 2. So, all in all, a really neat episode. We find some more stuff out about, we find a bit more about the division this episode as well, which is kind of cool. And it all leads up to next week's episode, the survivors of the Flux. And it's clear that Division and the Flux must be somehow linked. If the Division didn't somehow create the Flux, I'll be amazed. They didn't have any involvement. But yeah, a very good episode overall. Some pretty neat effects in it as well. There's a fantastic effect where it's a fairly basic effect, but it's still really well done. Where there's a picture of a weeping angel that tries to escape, and they have to sort of defeat it, and some interesting little effects going on there, which are quite cool. The weeping angels themselves, they're still, they're not as creepy as they were when we first encountered them way back when Don't Blink, back with David Tennant. But they still sort of felt more effective. I'm glad they didn't make the mistake of, and I think it was a Matt Smith episode, and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was called. But I'm sure it's a Matt Smith episode where they are on a space station or something, or a spaceship, and they encounter angels, and at some point you see the angels actually move and turn. As soon as they did that, they lost all their mystique about them. They lost all their sort of, what makes them sort of interesting, scary. The fact that every time there's sort of a flash of darkness, they move and change position, which works really well. They lost all that, so I'm glad to see that we are back to the old way of form angels. It's the better way to do angels as well. So overall, I have to say this episode was really good. I'm really looking forward to what it's set up for next week. The cliffhanger of this episode is absolutely fantastic. It was very much a case of, okay, that was not what I was expecting. That's going to be really hard to see how they're going to get out of this one. So I look forward to seeing what happens to him next week. But yeah, very good episode. Really liked it. It's been, we've not, I have to say, this 6-part season so far, I think every episode's been good. There's been no sort of major duff ones amongst a lot so far. And maybe this is the actually better format for Doctor, rather than trying to stretch 13 episodes, we have smaller, less episodes, but sort of aim to be better quality. And actually, I'm really enjoying the overall arc storyline that's going through it. It's working quite nicely, so I'm really looking forward to that. So, really glad, really enjoyed this episode. So, thank you very much for watching. So, I've been Suffolk Brown from Rand Nerds. If you've enjoyed this, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking this video. You can also check us out. We do a podcast. We did our latest one last night. You can listen to that, and that's on channel. And our next one will be on the 4th of December, live streamed here on YouTube or on twitch.tv/randnerds. You should check out my game stream. I do a game stream every other Tuesday night. We're doing Forewarned this Tuesday. You can check that out on there and watch that as well. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you come back for next week's review. Thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you in the future. Cheers.